If you want a job done right, do it yourself. That's the way I used to believe. I didn't like depending on other people because I was such a perfectionist, nobody could ever do it as good as me. But besides that, I could never do it good enough for me either. So how was anybody else ever going to please me? It took me a long time to get past that. Is that how you think? Are you good enough? Are you a perfectionist? Is anything you do ever good enough for you? Well, guess what? If it's not good enough for you, it's never going to be good enough for anybody else. Because we project out into the world what we are. And if you're a perfectionist who wants everything perfect and nothing's ever good enough, including yourself, you're going to attract people, places, things, situations into your life just like that. I realize today that I cannot achieve anything of, of greatness or of great value without the help of other people. I don't have all the answers. I used to think I did. Before I was 30 years old, I was never wrong. Isn't that amazing? How can a guy go that long and never be wrong? Excuse me. Well, of course I was wrong, but I always had to blame someone else. And if I was wrong, it was because you gave me the wrong information. So the reality was, I wasn't wrong, you were. You caused me to give someone misinformation. We've all heard that word before. Misinformation. There are many sides to look at things. The next time you're disagreeing with someone, stop and think about this. From their point of view, from their life experiences, because everything we see is filtered through the lens of what has happened to us, what we have experienced in our lives. And we see it through that lens. So just because you disagree with someone on a point does not mean they're wrong and you're right. It doesn't mean they're right and you're wrong. From their point of view and their perspective, let's use an example here that some of you guys might like or you can relate to. A lot of guys think, a lot of you men think, none of my guys of course, but a lot of you men think that you have to be 6 feet tall, have a 6-figure income, and what's the other one? Oh, 6-pack abs. Well, that's bullshit, because I wasn't 6 feet tall when I was younger. I'm 6 foot and 1/2 inch now with my boots on. Okay, I didn't make 6 figures, and I guarantee I didn't have 6-pack abs. I actually had a little bit of a beer belly. But I had women chasing me all the time. I was a rebel. I was what they call a bad boy, but I wasn't really a bad boy. Well, I was the guy that these girls' parents didn't want their daughter going out with, but they all wanted to go out with me. I was about 16, 17. I was dating the high-class girls in my area of 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. I didn't have 6-figure income, definitely no 6-pack abs. I dreamed about it, but I always had a pot belly. Now, today, I have a 6-pack. But then I didn't have that. But they still wanted me. How is that? How was that? Why did they want me? I'll tell you why they wanted me. Because I had game. And I had a purpose that was bigger than getting laid. I had something that was more important to me than any woman, which at that time was my Harley Davidson. My freedom and traveling around the country and partying and drinking and fighting and all the things that I did when I was younger. Now today I am, well, I won't say I'm 6 feet tall, but with my boots on, I'm over 6 feet tall. And I make 6 figures, and I do have a 6-pack ab. But that is not going to do it for you. You got to have game. I still have game. I just don't chase the girls like I used to. And when you get older, where I live, there's just nothing here. I probably go, I'd say once a year or a couple times every year, maybe. That's stretching it. I'll see a girl around here that's good looking, a woman, maybe once a year. And she's usually not from around here. So that's why I travel out of the country. There's just not much around here. Of course, I don't go to the parties like I did when I was younger. And the availability of girls in this area is, as I said, is slim. I talked to my boys about it. They're 19, 20, 17. They experience the same things. They actually talk to girls online, sometimes girls that are in other states. But that's the advantage you guys have today that I didn't have when I was younger. But yet it was different. There were a lot of people out running around. And you got to meet a lot of girls at parties. But even back then we had incels. We had guys that just didn't get it. Probably most of the guys that I hung around with didn't get it. I was the only one in the group that was really getting laid on a regular basis unless one of them had a girlfriend. But I did find mentors. I had a mentor that taught me how to game with girls. Now, a lot of guys think when you say game, it's like a bunch of lies. Well, I was dishonest back then, but that wasn't how I got laid or how I got to be with girls. I didn't tell them what I thought they wanted to hear. I just was being myself. And that's another thing. People say you can't just be yourself. Well, I was myself back then. I'm myself now. If they don't like it, I don't care. And that's where the secret lies in being yourself. It's not that important to you. When you put so much importance, got some moss flying around here. When you put so much importance on what people think of you, especially a girl, they can feel like crap. You're needy. You're needing their approval. I didn't care then. I don't care now. I don't need a woman. Now, I've already had my kids, but even back then I didn't need a woman. You don't need a woman either. You want to be with a woman. I mean, if you want to reproduce, of course, you have to have a woman, that's for sure. I know a lot of you guys are younger, and I have some fans that are in their teens. Some of you guys are in your teens, and I know you got a long life ahead of you. And it's my hope that I can give you some good advice or mentor you somewhat. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section. If you'd like me to speak on something that you want to know more about, you have an opportunity here to be mentored by me, as where when I was young, you actually had to find someone physically in person. You couldn't get online. Now, you could make a phone call, but you had to meet the person. You got to watch that person in action, so to speak. But really, what he taught me wasn't so much game as far as picking up girls. It was more about believing in yourself and realizing that you are the prize, if you want to put it that way, or that you are valuable, that girls want to be with you. Assume girls want to be with you. Why not? Why not assume they want to be with you? You get farther with that than you will thinking, well, she's not going to like me. I'm not a football player. I'm not a basketball player. I'm not even popular in school. And that's the way I was in school, too. I didn't feel like I fit in. I thought they were the jocks. I thought they all thought they were better than I was. I quit school when I was 15. I found out later when I got into sports and became more popular in that type of, how do I say, group of people, that those people never thought they were better than me. I put them there because I believed they were better than me. Thus, that was the reality I created. But they were just like me. They were no different. So that perception I had in school of everybody being better than me, that nobody was really interested in having anything to do with me, was bullshit. It was a belief that was not true. You will take action according to the beliefs, whether they are beliefs of reality or some false perception you have. So why not choose beliefs, like everybody wants to be with you, every girl wants you to be their man, that work for you, instead of the opposite, which is like, nobody wants me, I'm not 6 foot tall, I don't have six-pack abs. I'm telling you what, I have seen guys and known guys that have gone out with beautiful women that had none of those. I have a son that's like 5 foot, I don't know if he's 5, 6, or 7. He has no problem picking. He's going out with a girl right now. She's beautiful. He has no problem getting women. At one time, he was a little overweight too. He could still get women. So this idea that you think you got to be like a Chad, or you got to be built, you got to be this, you got to be that, that's all bullshit. But if you believe that, that's what you're going to create. If you believe that's true, then that's going to be true for you. As I said when I started this video, your beliefs create your reality because you take action on those beliefs, or you don't act because of those beliefs. So choose the beliefs that work for you, that actually benefit you, that get you the desired results that you want. Why not? You have a choice. You can choose any belief you desire. It's really up to you. So what do you believe about yourself? Sit down, take a pen and a piece of paper and write down what you believe about yourself. And after you make that list of what you believe about yourself, opposite of each belief, if you want to improve it, write down a different belief that is more in line with what you really want. And you can choose to believe that. Make an affirmation for that belief. Now you can't just say it once or twice or a day or a week. You come to have the beliefs you have now through your lifetime of experience. So just like going to the gym and working out, it takes time to build muscles. If you create affirmations that are congruent or in line with the beliefs that you, the beliefs that you want to have in your life to create the life that you desire, it's going to take some time. And it's going to sound like you're lying when you first start, because you are. But that's what brainwashing is. They tell someone a lie long enough in different emotional states that he comes to believe it. Well, guess what? If you're doing your affirmations right before you go to bed and right when you get up, when you're kind of half asleep, that will imprint that on your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is what really runs your life. Only 5% of what you do during the day is done consciously. The rest of it is subconscious. And if you use your affirmations, if you're in a state of fear, or if you're down, or if you're happy, these are different emotional states, and these will imprint at these times. The imprint of that affirmation will be imprinted more profoundly on your subconscious, and thus you start seeing things in your outer world that align with your subconscious beliefs. But it takes time to program that. But your conscious mind is the programmer of your subconscious mind. It's the gatekeeper. It decides what it lets in or what it doesn't let in to become a reality in your life. Now, I'll tell you one that I use around here. What I said earlier, I said there's no women around here, hardly at all. Most of them are overweight. Probably I miss the ones that are around here that are good looking, because that's a belief that I've took on. Now, there are some facts. Statistically around here, I think the obesity or overweight percentage is probably about 90 to 95%. In the US alone, it's 70 to 75%. And I like women who are in shape, like athletically in shape, or on the thin side, or slim, I guess is what I would say. I like them to be toned. So I realize that, but I'm okay with that, because I don't mind traveling to meet other women in different places. I like to fish in a different pond, so to speak. I've had a lot of women here in the U.S., but I prefer something different. Maybe I've gotten bored with U.S. women. I don't particularly like women who are raised up to be career women, who shake my hand like a man. I prefer a feminine woman, and they're few and far between in the U.S. because most of them are raised, we've spoke about this before, to have careers, to be dominant, to be powerful, to try to be like a man. Hell, I got enough man friends. I don't need another woman who's acting like a man. I don't need another buddy or co-worker. So I choose the feminine women. So that's all I got time for tonight. Went pretty good tonight. Usually I have a problem making videos. Saturday we're going to have Paulina Speaks again. We're going to talk about Tate. I'm going to have some videos, little video clips out of it. We're going to discuss certain points and some of the things Tate talks about. So I'm out of here. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I will see you next time. Take care.